right, guys, welcome back. You're still watching Zilile, of course, with your coolest girl on TV. And I did mention earlier on that I'll be having a very special guest in the studio. And of course, he needs no introduction. But for those of you that are seeing him for the very first time, he goes by the name Tommy D. What's good?
What's good? Thank you for having me on the program.
It's great to have you.
Thank
You're
you.
always a vibe, yeah?
I've
watched some of your interviews.
Okay.
Always on point, always good vibes. You know what I'm
good
saying?
Vibes. No, it's important, in our industry. We
Okay.
just have to represent.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, it's good to talk about music and maybe just catch up and find out how you're doing in terms of music. But, Kumangalati, there are newbies out there that are watching you and they don't even know who Tommy D is.
Oh, yeah, sure.
How did you start off your music career?
My music career, I started really early, though. I started at a very young age. I can't even remember which age exactly, but all I know is by the time I was like maybe 13, I was already memorizing raps, having favorite rap songs, to a point when I think that was like in the 90s, the late 90s.
Oh.
Yeah. In the late 90s, I finally got a chance to go to the studio. I think Chanti Avant was the first studio that I ever recorded with Funti K. Then after that, I got connected to Sling Beats. And the Sling Beats, because the time of Sling Beats, I was still at school.
Yeah.
So Sling Beats, I didn't really explore my full potential because I had to focus on school. Then I had to do my music. But my true breakthrough came in 2007 when I put out my first album, Mafia.
Yeah.
Yes, I put out under Showdown Entertainments, under the supervision of Ranel. I managed to put out the album, and from there onwards, I've just been in music, just doing my thing,
From where a lot of artists come from, you would hear stories like, I dropped out of school, I wasn't interested in school because I wanted to pursue music. But you seem like a very well-educated person. How was your education background?
I think those people that, say, no, I don't need school, I can even laugh at them because also you need something to fall back in life. Just imagine your music career doesn't work out.
Yeah.
So I feel like school is very important. That's the reason why, for me, at some point, I even stayed out of school for almost 2 years.
Okay.
Those times when you're unruly, maybe grade 9 going to grade 10, instead of reporting to school, but it took me, almost 2 years to realize, to say, okay, kuna bridges in life that you need to jump. For example, you don't want to be in society and you don't even have a grade 12 certificate.
Yeah.
When you had the opportunity, at least you can have an excuse that was any better to work support. But if once that opportunity is presented to you, you just have to take it. So me, I did that. Grade 12, I had to go back to school. I went back almost 3 grade 10.
Okay.
Completed my grade 12. Then I went to do NATEC at Nicha.
Okay.
Nicha, and that was also self-motivated, I pushed for that to get into the school. I had even a situation whereby the career master, I think my paper wasn't considered, but all the requirements were there. So I had to push. I even discovered the course director.
Okay.
Before I even entered the school, I met the course director because I was pushing, just trying to be there and get education. And through my journey of really pushing for school, I realized it's the best time to do hits because when you go to school, your mind is always running, you're always learning new things, and even your creative side gets improved.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When we talk about, when somebody speaks about music, especially the hip-hop industry, obviously one of the most prominent names in hip-hop is Tommy D. You're a legend. You believe you're a legend?
Nah, I don't like to be called that name.
Legendary.
These new guys, the new musicians will call you a legend only to, say, Wemba Mani, the person got chance. So yes, I might be a living legend, but I would prefer that name when I'm gone.
Oh, okay.
I'm still breaking records and still.
You don't want your flowers now?
Flowers are flowers, but to be called a legend is like the last flower that I would want.
Okay.
Because I'm still, I feel like I still have a limit to beat. I have to, you know what I mean? Who knows?
Yeah.
Maybe my Ronzaka chise na album yonse ya mchizungu.
Yeah.
Mwazia ya leader worldwide.
Yeah.
And I'll be considered an upcoming on the international scene. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? So I want only when the whistle is over, that's when I'll say, okay.
Yeah,
I was a legend,
that's
or
good enough.
people will say, will call me a legend.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, you know, coming from, you know, way back in the hip hop industry, you have quite a number of fans, especially in the ghetto. Do you remember how, you know, in your time hip hop was doing?
Yes, I do. Actually, during my times, hip hop was really considered controversial, like compared to today. That time, especially ukaimbache mchinyani, wazaona monga tutukana. You know, because it comes from a background of, you know, a lot of controversy. So back in the days, like when I started off, especially rapping in Nyanja, because there were very few guys, and those guys that were there and doing it were considered to be, you know, understood somehow, because they used to represent the neighborhoods and they got their love from the neighborhoods. People like Master Flow, you know, Tony Daxa, they never really like went on the commercial level. But in the hood, they were like, they were quite big. So I feel like the recognition was a bit minimal, but the passion was there because hip hop is motivated by the youth. So as long as there's the youth, there'll always be hip hop. And those days, you know, the youth, they're wanting to be recognized in a certain craft, you know, like something they would call their own. And, you know, and the time I started rapping in Nyanja, at first it was a bit peculiar, but as time went, a lot of other guys started doing it. And, you know, we formed what is known as the commercial mainstream of hip hop of today.
Yeah.
You know, so back in the days compared to now, it's like we were so used to, there was no social media, you know, we could only rely on the TVs and radio stations and also like the streets.
Yeah.
You know, so that's why even like when social media paid up with it, because we're too glued to the street activities. What is the then I understand say okay vantu vanga nako ghetto, so maybe walipena ma talk time yakutati vankale online vagule ma bundles na vintu vaso but hapa chalo cha change up.
Okay. Let's take you back a little bit to a song that you did way back. This one is titled Masses. So yeah, we'll try as much as possible to, you know, make the picture look okay, but you know, kudala kwenzeko obviously to my cameras to shooting but kudala nzoneka bwino vinachinja bwanyi.
Okay, hapa kaidi hapa tajara kona high quality material.
Yeah. All right. In case you are just joining us, I am talking to Tommy D, and of course, just talking about, you know, his music, where he is right now, and he's got a brand new music video. So something to look out for. In case you have any questions or any contribution, don't hesitate to go to my Facebook page, Rhoda Mulenga, and you can also check out some of the interesting clips from this particular show. Now, let's go back to how, you know, your relationship is with, you know, most of the artists that, you know, you started music with. How's your relationship with Slap D, Mampi?
I feel like we just have a distant relationship. Not that we're enemies or anything. It's just that time, you know, now we're all grown up, we got families, so we don't really link up the way we used to link up.
Yeah.
But all I can say is, on my part, I feel like I'm in a good space with everyone, including Mark II, including Mampi, including Slap D, all the guys from back in the days.
Yeah.
I feel like we're very fortunate to even make it like to these times. There are a lot of great artists that we've lost in the past, you know what I mean? And we're still here, we're doing the music, we're still in the craft. I feel like it's just time for us just to unite and also remember where we're from and remember what our vision was when we started off and what we have achieved so far. Yeah.
I remember, I think that was a year ago on High Five with Shosta, you spoke about Slap D being a snitch in one of your Facebook posts. Did you guys iron out that issue?
That issue was ironed out the same year.
Okay.
yeah, because if you remember that same year, I did the release party for my album, and Slap was one of the guys that came to support me. Yeah.
Interesting. All right. So, in terms of, you know, music, I think way back, artists would actually complain about, not making much out of, performances. Like you said, there was no social media, so people didn't even have these streams that they're having today. But how's the experience for you financially in terms of your music career?
I feel like, music, like that claim was true to say, artists, we don't really get much out of the music, although we like put in more than what we get out.
Yeah.
But to be honest, I think it should have been like categorized, so certain categories of music were not making as much back then, because if you look at Kalindula and you look at where, our legends, PK, Pongos, they really made a fortune out of this music. So I think that transition of introducing these new genres had people in a certain space to say, okay, can we really support this? Can we really? But for now, to be honest, now music is paying. It's one of the most paying jobs in the country, if you do it right. Yeah, so compared to back in the days, now things have improved. Now, if you're complaining, then you're just not working hard enough. Yeah, because now we're at a point where your work is showing your gain.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely. You always spoke about Tommy Dina Mafia. Manje Mafia Nwanda.
When I started off my career, we were like, the group was called Mafia. And we were 3 guys. There was me, there was a guy called Uncle Cha, and there was a guy called One Gas, Gas. So the 3 of us used to be known collectively as Mafia. So like Tommy Dina Mafia was just like an intro mistake, where when you just started a song, because I used to be like the lead rapper in the group. So I was like, Tommy Dina Mafia. So inabaya ziwi kache. But after that, Mafia became like, the group just grew like to uncontrollable size, whereby uli onse mufera spangati. Ndina mufera, you know what I mean? Ndina mufera, so magaza jere support mo yapakira mafera. Sinde choke mo just slogan. So to me dina mafera bali pa ground, venangu bali panja, venangu bali ma office, was bali konse. I think it's the biggest group in the country. If you really do your research, you find that mafera is quite big, because na no man be once wajani mafera. Wazia jaso.
I actually saw Karasa doing this. Is he
Karasa wasn't my favorite. He couldn't keep.
He's in agreement. He agrees to that.
Yeah.
So you have way back, I think you actually did a video with Slap D titled Chiwolia.
Chiwolia, yes.
What were you trying to communicate in that song?
That song, I was just trying to speak on behalf of, like, certain people, circumstances find them in certain awkward situations. Like, our brothers in Chiwolia, our sisters, our mothers, our grandmothers, our children living in Chiwolia. Not all of them are doing, because Chiwolia is known for these notorious narcotics, drugs, but si wonse kuja kuchiwolia. Vanhu vanasipeza kuti vangala kuchiwolia, maybe vagurisa chamba or vagurisa drugs. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So there was a time when there was a big raid kwa kuchiwolia kuja. Inapo yapesa kuze ibe kusanga, kuze kushapuliwa. Kuze kulibati nikamwana, kulibati nivambuye. Mushitachane mushiwolia. You know what I mean? So I just tried to come and intervene, hopefully, to say, no, it's not everyone that is found in Chiwolia that is doing drugs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely.
So that was...
I agree with you. I think there's a lot of great people that have come out of Chiwolia. Personally, I know a team from Sekas, Zambia. Big shout out to you guys. Doing great things out there in the community. So you've had a couple of albums. How many now?
And right now I'm working on my 5th album. Officially, it should have been like 6. But there's one album, like there was a period in time when I'd put out an album, but had so much resistance from like former record deals. I think my movie says I thought like I can just leave a record company as an independent and boom, put out an album and everything.
Which record company were you with by then?
One Love Studios.
Okay.
Yeah. So I did like 2 official albums under One Love Studios. I did one album with Showdown Entertainments. Then I did 2 albums with One Love Studios. Then I tried to put out a 3rd as an independent. It didn't work out. So actually 4 albums.
Okay.
Yeah, it should have been officially 5, but it's 4 albums. Yeah. Okay. So I put out, I did two attempts as an independent artist. The last one was the 2021 album, The Real Talk. That's the 3rd album. Then The Godfather is the 4th album.
Okay.
Yeah.
How did The Real Talk perform?
the real talk, I think, is what sparked that realization to say, we might be big on the streets, but now we need to, move, adapt to times, because social media, I didn't really, you know what I mean? It wasn't really my target. Like, I was so much in my old ways of doing things, of whereby I would put out the album, get the actual CD copies. Na mabumpla ya mashasters hizi makopi amene mwapanga mapromota mwatumira na uko nzabula padea. So I was trying to do it the old fashioned way, but now people have changed the way they move. And that album brought me to a realization. And when I got an opportunity to work with people like MB's Entertainments, that's Mulenga man, I took it because I felt like in this new era, you just have to have a team.
Yeah.
Even if you're independent, there should be a team in the background.
Okay.
So
now, are you officially with MBits?
Yes, I am officially with MBits.
Oh.
I'm working on the Godfather album under MBits Entertainment.
Yeah. All right. So, talking about social media, obviously it has come with the good and the bad as well, because now we have quite a number of bloggers, pages, fabricating stories.
Oh, yeah.
How do you deal with that, especially now that, if there's any situation, you have an interview, they pick this up, you're the topic of discussion on social media. How do you deal with that personally?
Okay, well, for me, it's not really a challenge, because social media, as much as that is a disadvantage, it's in a safe zone. Because the time that we're doing it without social media, you get booed directly per stage. That was
the only way people could express themselves.
per stage. But nowadays, at least, could be versatile, because as an artist, you have to expect people to act in that such a way, because sometimes maybe nyimba na waimba na hivyo kuma kai na advantage na disadvantage daba ya kondwela uyamvera kuipa. But with social media, itakuwa kasani tika tuviona. But if you're lying to yourself as an artist and say, okay, people just be saying nice things about me, what, then social media is not your space. Because kuja kumankalo sindiwe che artist, ndiwe che muntu wapika chefa mushe fokudi, upostie kwa tinapika sona ka recipe uzada bache bayamba, sifichani, kanga kutuwarike mumala, you know what I mean? That's how social media is. At the end of the day, that's entertainment, and it keeps the people going. Because honestly speaking, ever since the introduction of social media, I found that even the number of suicides has gone down. Back in the days, people living in a space where basungiri achifukusha ibeko shipereka mudabache ndani ndana naspa ndani, but with the coming of social media, when kana masuicide yanachako na reduce.
And then, because obviously way back we didn't really know what was going on, so now social media is giving us numbers, people are getting help and things like that. All right, so there's another video that we are going to take you back to. This one is titled Nicha, featuring Mark 2, and it's about 11 years ago.
11 years ago. 11 years ago. To be honest, that video, I even uploaded it personally.
Okay.
Yeah, that's I should have followed that path, say social media, okay, but social media, YouTube, I even got paid for uploading my music those days.
Oh.
Yeah, I got like $2, and if I would invite somebody, I'll get another $2.
Okay.
Yeah, but that song was the song where Mark II, when I knew him, he was my video guy. I knew him as my video producer, and he worked on almost all the projects. In fact, not almost. He worked on all the projects from the Masese album. He's the one that shot the videos. He's the one that did the documentaries. But after that, when we sat down and relaxed and then just got to chat, I realized that Mark II was even a better rapper again.
Yeah.
So we decided to say, okay, why don't we, focus on music and do music together? And Nicha was the first song that we worked on.
Yeah.
And it worked out because parties organized. Pamene pamucho kwa kuimba. Mark II amena zocha video fast shooting a video. Fast my connections that you up street wa ilandira ja video. Na nyimbo na bachitika maningi moshe because we recorded that in Ndola. That time in Ndola it was even rougher because there was not even a TV station or even a radio station.
Yeah.
We used to rely on watu ma computer ma guys.
Yeah.
Kushitopareta manyimbo yatu kutiche ichaiko circulate.
Yeah, and so being a hip hop artist, you obviously people didn't know your stance, whether you were with Kopala Swag or the XYZ, and I think at some point people actually thought you would be part of XYZ or join XYZ.
Okay, people, they always want to associate you with the biggest things that are happening. You know, they want to make sure that, okay, well, if, for example, XYZ is the most happening and you make a buzz, you should belong there. Or if Copper Belt is the most happening, you should belong there. But in time, I've realized to say, you know, those are the things that bring division. And if you listen to the fans, usually, uzalubana. Because my fans, kambiri, ndewa madisteba muntu, wakusa support you in a hype, then you can't disappoint your fans. If your fans put you at a certain height and a certain greatness, and then they request for you to say, no, we don't like XYZ, we like Copper Belt. And if you are a sucker for fame, you're going to listen to your fans and say, before I lose my fame, let me join Copper Belt. But those things bring division, and then you find that the industry is not moving because there's so much division. So for myself, I managed to work with the XYZ, I managed to work with Copper Belt, I've worked with so many people. But what I've realized from working with everyone is that if only we were more united, even our industry would have been on a different level.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So you also have a video that we're going to play next. I think this one you featured. Kobe featuring Yellowman, Tommy D, and Slab D, Keep Forgetting. And this particular one was released in 2019. All right. So that is probably one of the biggest songs in 2019. And, you know, a whole lot of talent in that particular one. Now, that is where the word Kapiopio came from. Like, how do you come up with these words? You know, these words.
You know, like I said, I'm from the streets. So in the streets, there's always terminologies. Every day, trust me, on the streets, there's a new terminology. So Kapiopio, Kapiopio, it's a certain type of language whereby ngaukamba per street is like a code, you know what I mean? Ijamongati, no avoyo, ni code ya per street. Olo Kapiopio, I mean, I was trying to refer to Mufana where the idea, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
A youngster who's got an idea but looking up to you. So, like, in that song, the context that I used it in, I was referring to the past.
Yeah.
I was trying to explain my story to say, okay, in the past it was like this. You know what I mean? But a human mind is normal to forget these things. You know what I mean? And because if I said any lies on those songs, I would have had somebody maybe reply or correct me or even just post about it. But everybody was silent because, like me, when I tell this story, sometimes I'm too much into reality raps. So in the reality, but on that song, na carrying across, you know, it wasn't even my song. I just featured on the song, but in about nyimbo by chechiu tichevamvera moshe, but in a manje hit ya bwirera in a manje.
And people made it seem as though it's your song.
You know?
And, you know, some people got offended because you talked about Shefi being a Kapiopio. Especially
Shefi fans, you know. Shefi, we had linked up one time behind the stage, and he told me, no, I made him look weak to his fans. So getting back to my point, that's what I'm saying. Fans will always confuse you. You know, Shefi himself, he knew what I was saying was true. But my fans, wakambache so and a certain greatness. Above no mutumfi. Amochai reply sanga kambe, so you are the hardest punchline rapper in the country. You know? And then fans usually when they do that, they spark a beef, you know. That's what they want to see. With hip hop, it's like beef is what the people want to see. You know?
Okay.
Yeah.
Is it still about beef these days? Because we don't usually see people dissing each other.
Trust me,
beefs
it's
are
about
going
beef.
down.
Trust me, it's always about beef when it comes to hip hop. Reason being, you can't have two number ones. It's competition. And competition in another language is simply saying the enemy. You know what I mean? Kind of. Because if somebody's competing with you for the same position, you might show like you're cool in public, but in the background, so whenever need arises or a reason to diss that person arises, you go for it. When a drift and an as long. You can tell that between the two, one of them really wanted the beef. You know what I mean? It's just that the other one maybe didn't respond. You know what I'm saying? And also the fans, there's a bit confused about what it was all about. You know what I mean?
But it's always like that. Fans never know what the beef is all about. But they just know
but
that.
there's a time when fans know. You know what I mean? They know that this thing, we can make it happen. And they do it. Talk about disciplinary committee. It's a disciplinary committee near my fans by Facebook. But in Gawazi, waza kupanisha. You know what I'm trying to say? So you can't say they don't know what they're doing. Fans, they always know what they're doing. That's why in this generation where we're in the social media age, even the fans are celebrities.
Yeah.
Uzapeza cha sevana che vintu che maybe zolilira mukazi wake, oh, you 1 million views parasa mbochana advertise my commodities. So they always know what they're doing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. You know, in this space where there is a lot of young upcoming artists, Bantua blow one song, you know, this person is trending everywhere. Who are you listening to?
Right now,
Do you have favorites? Like
I do. I have, you know, the funny thing is I have many favorites. I've got many favorites. Like I listen to a lot of, like I watch TV, like I watch your channel, I watch everything that you televise, and I've certain time tend to fall in love with certain music, certain songs. Like right now, the person that I've been feeling is not even trending yet, but is a young guy by the name of Browin.
Okay.
Yeah, he's a rapper.
Yeah.
And then he's put out my videos pakati but it one pangila sense, you know. But my all-time top 5 list with these new guys, pali J-Max, pali Dismo, you know, pali J-Cash, pali when a drifter check,
Yeah.
you know. By drifter check and there's supposed to be, yeah, pali Zavin, Kopala Queen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. And you actually have a song with Israel, which obviously will play the video very soon. What would you say about staying focused and disciplined in the music industry? I think especially for young male artists, it's very hard to stay focused. You know, there's girls around,
Oh, yeah.
substance abuse, you know. The moment you just get that fame, you now want to, you know, you don't know what to do. You're lost in the
You don't know
moment.
what to do with it.
Yeah.
You know, if focus, you said focus and
Determination,
determination.
discipline.
Oh, yeah. If focus and discipline was a person, I call that person Israel. You know, because Israel, the time that he just blew up with his so lucky album, you know, he chose a girl that he loved. He got married from the start. Chefemi ambacha anakwatira ojamuntu as an exile. Time ana personal devotion yake namlangiza kuli mulungu. Achinja nzina from exile is found now in Israel. You know, so like certain big homies like those, I really respect them because I, for one, started following his music when I was still a rapper. When I was still at Munali, even the time they did those Rap for a Million shows at the Olympic swimming pool, I was there. I became a fan of Exile those days. Yeah, and I always wanted to work with him. And then looking at like his intake of music, generation ya music when Exile, and want work that namanje bakali very respected. Okay, Exile akawali. Basunga blame muntu pali kujja nsima. Waiza jaso. Olo ni mistake mu career atana nsima. You know? Because they go at times, but from there, how he handled all those pressures, trials, and tribulations up to where he is now is a very respectable individual in the game. And for me to even work with him, I was very humbled. It's something that I always wanted to do in my career. And working with him, it was so big for me. And even the results are showing, say, okay, if you work with certain people of a certain caliber, this is what you get in the end. Yeah.
Okay, nice one. There was a point, I think, where you just went quiet. We didn't hear anything from you music-wise, you know, nothing. What was happening?
That time, I think life happened. You know, I got married, had a baby girl, you know, and then pressure started flowing in. And then you see why I'm saying, like, it's always important to have something to fall back on.
Yeah.
But at that time, I didn't even quit music. I ventured into like radio DJing. I did it for 7 years.
Yeah.
Like I was still close to the music. I was still vibrating in the same space, you know.
Yeah.
Like still playing the latest happening music.
Was
still
that
in
Common
touch.
Radio?
Yeah, for Common Radio. Yeah, I did it for 7 years. And then, you know, because I wasn't called DJ Tommy D. I was called by another DJ name. So I'm sure that confused people also, and they thought, where is this guy? But knows that in the every day at radio. You know what I mean? Yeah. So basically, that was it. It's just life that happened.
Yeah.
But you know, when you are into something like, if something like, for me, music is my passion. You know, and I've got the thirst for this craft. So like to quench that thirst, it's all about just doing it. You know, practicing it. I'm more happy when I'm like in the studio and making music than when I'm just out there, you know, being me.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So, what should the people out there, the fans, expect from Tommy D today onwards?
This year and onwards, the fans, you already know me, but I don't know why you keep doubting. So this year, expect to wipe all your doubts and listen to the Godfather album. No misconceptions about Tommy D. Kill them.
Yes.
Because this year we're coming in full swing.
Yeah.
There's going to be a lot of activities happening this year. All you have to do, just look out. Hit me up on my social medias.
Yeah.
My handles are at Tommy D na Mafia. Kulikonse. As long as in social media, wakachache at Tommy D na Mafia uzanipeza.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, Tommy D, thank you very much for coming through to Zilile. Finally, we had the opportunity to talk to you.
The pleasure is all mine.
Yeah, we will catch up with you hopefully very soon.
Thank you very much.
All right, so take us to the latest video.
The latest video features Israeli. The song is entitled In My Eyes. Watch out. More music coming your way. Bra, bra, bra.